So here is the Aphex 104 Auroral Exciter registered, Type C squared, with big bottom registered. It's a huge fucking name for basically another version of the BB Sonic Maximizer. If you don't know what that is a piece of technology that takes your super low frequencies and your super high frequencies and boosts them, but without actually crushing your mid-tone, so it gives you more of a scooped tone without actually, well, scooping your mids. This one in particular is a 2-channel, so you can have 2 identical settings, and we'll get into more of that later. But the reason we're talking about it now, and the reason I drove 5 fucking hours round trip to go get it, is because Dime had it in the loop at one point in his career, so ergo, piece of Dime gear, so let's get into it. This is without it on first. Now here it is with it on. Now the question I'm sure you have that I had too is, how does this compare to either a parametric or a graphic equalizer? And well, an EQ is going to be more versatile in the sense of what frequencies you're going to be dialing in and out, and you know how to dial it in. This is more or less kind of doing one specific thing where it's just boosting those frequencies, and you can pick and choose frequencies and how they're stacked with the harmonics and shit. Whereas also with an EQ, if it's one that has a level, you could also use it as a master volume switch if you want to do it like that, or you could also do this as a mid boost, whereas I don't see this being a mid boost. One advantage this does have though is, say you're just using it for this effect, which is just to give it a more skewed tone, and you're running a stereo rig. Since it is 2 channels, you can just set up the settings mirrored and then have this be your tone sculpting that's in the effects loop. Overall, what do I think about it? I think it sounds really good, even just after tinkering with it for an hour or so. Really big thanks to my buddy Steven for finding this for me, and then also giving me his settings to kind of use as a base to figure it out. But really quick, I'm going to just show what it sounds like to kind of select it on and off rapidly really fast. Oh, by the way, the amp is the old 100ES through a Mesa 212. And now for fun, I'm going to turn off all the quote-unquote dime gear that I have right now, so you can just hear just the 100ES and then kind of the evolution of how the tone gets sculpted into what is quintessentially a dime tone. So this is just the 100ES on the red channel, essentially guitar into it now. 6-band on the front of the amp. Here is my second pedal I'm using as another boost in the front. One that makes the biggest difference. Here's the flanger doubler. I'm kidding with the doubler. I have it set really low because I don't want it to make that much of an effect right now. If I wanted it to, I could have it sound like this. But I like having it set lower for other than tone, so. Overall, I mean, I think it's a good sounding unit. Do I think it's worth $150, $180, $200 MAP plus? No, because again, you can just get an EQ for, I mean, depending on the model, you can get one for like $30 on your effects, so you can get the exact same results, just, you know, give or take the frequencies you're messing with. Again, though, if you're running a stereo rig with, say, for some old examples of like older rack mounted MXR EQs, then it's a bit harder to do the same thing this can do, or again, you can run 2 amps with this in the back of them. And again, it does have a very iconic sound. It's just, that is the embodiment of 90s solid state scooped. I think this is unfortunately another one of those products that just gets hit with a dime tax, and people ask way more than what they're worth and what they actually, you know, pound for pound will do to your guitar tone. That being said, though, this does more, in my opinion, than the flanger doubler does, and I don't even want to go back into how much that'll go for. But overall, I mean, getting an EQ and throwing that in the loop will do, again, basically the exact same as this, if not more. So...